So from what I understand, at the Ex-Boys and Life Preparatory School, children are not allowed to use cell phones, right? Mm-hmm. Please tell me the reason for that.
They're not allowed to use cell phones. They're not even allowed to possess a social media account or anything. We found out about a social media account. You are bound to be expelled if you have any type of social media, or if you're using a cell phone, whatever like that. You're not allowed at the school to use one. You're not allowed to have any type of social media, period. We do that because it's just going to do more harm than good. Until we teach those students how to utilize phones and utilize social media to make funds from it, you're not going to be the product. We're going to teach them how to make money from it, but we're not going to allow them to just be on there going willy-nilly. It's too much negativity going on, steady access to porn, steady access to dumb stuff, even access to strangers. I've seen so many different videos where these people are testing their kids to see if they'll go meet with strangers and everything. Yes, your children are meeting with strangers. I promise you they are. And maybe they may not be adults, but they might be stranger kids or whatever, but they're eventually going to graduate to meeting with adults. I'm telling you, I've told people every time I do one of these videos, while you're watching this right now, go grab your child's phone and go through it right now. Go through it, because they are not going through their child's phone. No, go through it right now and go see how many nudes they're sending, who's sending nudes. If your child is on the brink of 16 and 15 and he got a little 15-year-old girlfriend that's sending nudes, he can get child porn charges. Like, this little stuff like that. And the other day I posted this video about going through your child's phone, and a friend of mine texted me, she's like, I just went through my son's phone. She was like, but before I even grabbed it, and I asked him, he been sending news. He was like, yeah, I've been sending news, and they've been sending me news, and I've been doing this and that. I'm like, yeah, your kids are doing all type of nonsense on the phone. Not saying that he's a bad kid. He's actually a great kid. But this is what they, peer pressure, etc. The greatest of children with the greatest of parents, if you give them too many gates to open, they're gonna go through one of them, and I'm just like, you can't do that. Like, just leave it be. Like, if they turn 16, 17, cool or whatever, but they don't need no crazy phone. They talking about, I need to be at a track location. Put an Apple tag in their book bag and keep moving.
Bro, you know what I found wild? My daughter's 9, right? Mm-hmm. But from like 6, I noticed she doesn't have a cell phone. Mm-hmm. And I noticed like 6-year-old said they had cell phones, but this is the wild part to me, bro.
New phones.
They had new phones, but like it was just whatever on the phone, like nothing was blocked.
No, now you got parental controls on Apple. And my brother's 17, he about to turn 18 now, but I got parental controls on his phone still. Like, so I raised my younger brother. Now we got different moms. So I raised most of my other siblings or whatever, but we got different moms. But I've raised him since he was like 12 on my own or whatever, since I was an adult. And I got parental controls on his phone or whatever like that, but I can see, what's happening on there. I can see how long you be on your phone. I can restrict time. I can restrict you opening certain apps, whatever. So like, for example, if I did get my son an iPhone, even though I'm not, it's so I say I did to put the parental controls on, I can lock the whole phone.
Lock that bad boy down. But this is the thing,
yep.
man.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm learning with parents is that if they lock down the phone, they have to deal with the child.
And they scared to deal with their kids.
That's the problem.
I don't know why they scared of their kids. Oh, but you got new kids. They calling the police on you and everything now.
Because it's the when I say deal with the child, I mean spend time with the child. Please give parents advice on how they can lock down their child's phone. Because what they don't understand is that you can dictate who they receive calls from, who they can call, what websites they can go on. So what advice would you give to parents so they can parents who have this idea because they said they need to give the child a phone because they need to track the child? Cool.
Yep. So this is my family on my phone. I'm not sure if you can see it. I might got a privacy screen on here. It's my family on my phone. So I got my little brother, my little sister, me, and my son. Whenever he has his iPad or whatever. So on here, let's say I'm gonna click on my brother's phone real quick. So right here, I got screen time. Screen time, I can see all his activity. I can hit improve communications and safety, meaning it'll tell me like if offensive words have been said or whatever like that. His text messages, it will detect nude photos, everything. Like Apple has it all the way to a T. Downtime, I can limit how much time he's on his phone. If I put it on downtime, the phone is not usable at all. You can see it, but it's not usable. All you can see is the time. He can click on it. He can press everything. It won't do nothing. It will be blank the whole time he's on downtime. I got app limits. So he's limited like an hour of social media per day or whatever like that. If he gets in trouble, I turn social media off. If he's not focused, I turn social media off. Like, you could do everything. You got communication limits. You can limit who they talk to. If they're talking to anybody and it's not in their saved contacts or whatever, it won't let you it won't let them talk to them. You got apps that are always allowed. You got content and privacy restrictions. You got screen time passcode, so you can bypass the screen time or whatever like that. You can put them on your Apple Cash, location sharing, whatever. Like the whole nine is is on there. So if you do want to get them an Apple device, and they have the same thing with Android, Samsung devices too. You can put as much parental controls as you need to on there. But if I want to lock his phone down right now, like for example, if I just want to go turn his phone on lockdown, I can just hit a button and it turns it on lockdown like immediately. And he can call me. That's the only person he can call. Like if I put his phone on lockdown, he can only talk to emergency contacts or whatever. So he'd be like, "Why my phone locked down?" I'm just like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm in band practice." Okay, so you don't need your phone, do you? Okay, so like stuff like that. So
I think that's what parents need to do. This they always have this cop out of this and that, and yeah,
They
can have
always have a
access.
cop out.
They can have access. They can just have access to you or other people you want to speak to, but there's no other reason to use the phone.
It's more safe than sorry. Like they like, oh, they should be allowed some freedom, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, yeah,
Bro, these kids, listen, man. These kids watching some craziness at a young age. It's no
man,
bueno, bro.
that's why I don't let my sons use the YouTube and stuff, like, cause they'll be on something innocent on YouTube, but the scroll, they got it.
Rabbit hole, bro.
They go down a rabbit hole, and I'm like, what are you watching? No.
No, they just there.
They just are, but their minds are being trained or whatever like that. Like for example, some of the videos he'll watch sometime. Like for example, when he do get the tablet, like if we go out of town or something like that, because we don't use it readily at all, like during the day, period. But it's a little dog he watch on there, but he talks about, if strangers say something to you, tell your parents, or if something happens like this, it's safety stuff. So like some safety stuff he knows is because he's watched those videos. Like he knows that to talk to strangers, he will not speak to you if I'm not around. Like if you come talk to him and I ain't gave the eyeball okay or whatever like that, he gonna be like. And William, my other son, he's really, now he's not gonna talk to you even if I tell him to. Like, baby William I told you, they're complete opposite kids. William doesn't want to talk to you, and he's probably gonna hit you if you say something wrong. Like, he gonna be like, bro, like, stop looking at me. Like, but they don't talk to strangers, none of that stuff. They know not to open the door for people. Like, let's say I'm in the bathroom or something, somebody knock on the door. He knows not to go open the door. Somebody calls the house or calls your phone or my phone, whatever. Either you don't answer it, or somebody get on there ask specific questions like, where you at, what you doing? No, we don't say none of that stuff. He knows my cell phone number, so if he ever gets lost, hey, my dad, he knows that people can Google me, so he knows to say, hey, you can Google my dad. My dad's name is King Randall. He knows what to do if he's out in public or whatever, and he gets lost or whatever like that. That would never happen with me. I could promise you that, but I can guarantee that. But other than that, he knows what to do. If he gets lost, he knows not to panic. I told him don't stand around crying and that. You need to find out how to get home or whatever like that. And he knows even what to do if somebody kidnaps him or something. He knows to listen for certain stuff. Whatever. He knows not to do something he don't want to do. I've even told him if somebody tries to, make you do some inappropriate stuff or whatever like that, you'd rather die. I'd rather my son die than have to go through that with somebody, because the trauma that they have to live with through their whole life, I'd rather them have killed him than to molest him or abuse him for months until I find him or whatever like that. Absolutely not. I'd rather you bite them, fight them. I don't care. Do what you got to do. And he knows that. That's why he fights. He's about to start jiu-jitsu in January. All that stuff. Let him do it. He knows how to use a firearm. He knows what to do with it. He can't cock it or nothing like that, but he knows most of my weapons are already in the chamber or whatever. If something does happen, son, you know where to go, what to do. He knows what to do. He sees a weapon, like say I sit my gun down or something like that. He's going to say, Daddy's a gun over there. He's not going to go touch it. People need to teach their children about firearms too. People so scared about that. Even if you don't have guns, you still need to make sure your children know about firearms, because that can save somebody's life. For example, I posted the other day, one of my former students, he's graduated high school, his little brother, who's 2, got a hold of a gun the other day, his dad's gun, and pointed at his sister. But he was able to readily get it, disarm it, and stuff like that, because I taught him that already. Imagine if he didn't know what to do. Somebody could be gone right now. And a dad could be in jail because of being negligent with a firearm or whatever. But these are things that could happen. People who try to live life like things can't happen to them, they can. Your kid can get kidnapped. Something could happen to you, whatever. Like, you need to teach your child what to do, where to sit at in the car, things to listen to, things to say and not to say, who to talk to if you go missing. Why doesn't your child know your cell phone number? Like, all these things. Why don't they know their full name? Why don't they know their address? All this stuff. He knows how to write completely. Like, he knows how to write sentences. He can write a letter, whatever he needs to do. He can write. Oh, he writes better than me. I write terribly. Not saying that I don't know how to write. My penmanship is terrible or whatever. But they say that about geniuses. Penmanship terrible. But other than that, my son writes great. He writes amazing, and especially to be 4 years old. I mean, the kid's doing math and everything. I mean, he's great. He's already in his 2nd grade, workbook or whatever, and he's just 4. But that goes with training and making sure he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So parents, get a hold of your child. They're your child. That's your child. You determine mostly about where your child gonna end up at. You teach them, to make the right decisions, and then of course as they become an adult, they won't stray from that. Regardless of no matter where they go, they're not gonna stray from that. So you want to get those habits instilled in them as a baby, like as a kid. Start doing stuff with them, like saying good morning, good evening, not letting them talk back or say little funny things or whatever like that. Like, no, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to say that. You cannot do that. You cannot say this way. You cannot say that way. Like, even if it seems funny for a kid to say, they're like, oh, that's cute. No, it's not, because it's going to turn into a problem. Nip that in the bud. But who am I to tell parents how to parent? These are just some things that I do with my child.